These are not fictional characters. Unfortunately, these are real people who committed real crimes. They terrorized, they stole, and they killed. They were, to put it mildly, not nice people. This is the unpolished truth about 10 of Nigeria's most notorious criminals. Their stories are a chilling reminder of the dark side of human nature. At number 10, we have Kayode Williams. He was a member of the infamous Ishola Oyenusi gang, a name that won strong fear into the hearts of Nigerians. He was known for his ruthlessness and his willingness to use extreme violence to achieve his goals. Some really disturbing stories even say he was involved in ritualistic practices. He confessed to have pounded baby twins as a ritual act. Like regular crimes wasn't enough, but his life took an unexpected turn. While serving a prison sentence, he found religion. He emerged from prison as a changed man, a preacher dedicated to helping others find redemption. Kayode now works to rehabilitate prisoners, guiding them away from the life of crime. Is this a genuine transformation? Can a man who once embraced violence truly find peace in faith? People still argue about whether it's a complicated story of sin and salvation, or maybe just a good PR. Number 9, we have Chukwudumeme Onwamadike, better known as Evans, the billionaire kidnapper. He was a master of deception, a criminal mastermind who planned a series of high-profile kidnappings. His targets were wealthy individuals. He demanded huge amounts of money. He was like a ghost, disappearing and showing up everywhere and nowhere at the same time. He was like a ninja, but less honorable and more interested in your money. He avoided capture for many years, frustrating the law enforcement agencies and leaving his victims in a state of constant fear. His criminal network was huge, with a lot of accomplices. Evans lived a life of luxury, funded by the pain and suffering he inflicted on others. But his reign of terror eventually came to an end. A determined police operation finally tracked him down, exposing its carefully constructed world of lies and violence. Onwamadike went for trial on 52 charges of multiple murders, armed robberies, kidnappings, unlawful possessions of firearms, conspiracy, among other charges. He was found guilty in the state high court and was thereafter sentenced to life imprisonment. And number 8, we have Tawaz Akwaza, also known as Ghana. He was a powerful warlord who controlled a large territory in Benue State. He commanded a militia, a ruthless group of fighters who terrorized local communities. Ghana was accused of a long list of crimes, including kidnapping, assassinations, and massacres. He was the average everyday warlord. In fact, he was the law to himself, operating outside the bounds of justice. He installed fear in the hearts of ordinary people, disrupting their lives and shattering their sense of security. Now, despite attempts to bring him to justice, he was hard to find for many years. A bounty was even placed on his head after several failed attempts to track him down. He was eventually murdered by the Nigerian army after he turned himself in for amnesty on September 8, 2020. His end was violent, a reflection of the life he led. Number 7, we have Obioma Nwankwo, better known as Osisi Kanku. He was a notorious criminal who operated in the southeast Nigeria. He was a former hunter and the ex-fighter of the Icelander confraternity. He used these skills to carry out his criminal activities. He led a gang of kidnappers holding Abia State hostage for over 2 years. He was known for his brutality and his willingness to use extreme violence to achieve his goals. His gang kidnapped and robbed. He even targeted school children and NYSC members, demonstrating the depth of his wickedness. He claimed to be fighting for a cause, but his actions betrayed his true motives. Greed and power took over. Now, talking about how he was killed, it was said that his girlfriend was used to lure him out, and when he suspected it was an ambush, he put out his gun, but it was too late. Osisi Kanku and his 2 accomplices were gunned down at the spot. The other died at the hospital. According to the reports, 2 soldiers were also said to have lost their lives during the operation, and many kidnappers' victims were freed from his camp. Osisi Kanku's corpse was paraded before Governor Theodore Oji, the then Abia State governor, and the remains of him and his men were taken to the police headquarters in Umuahia, Abia State. So it's not exactly a happy ending for him. And number 6, we have Abiodun Gujumbi, nicknamed Gudugudu. He was a notorious armed robber who terrorized Lagos and the southwest. He was known for his ruthlessness and his ability to avoid capture. He was a master of disguise, blending into crowds and disappearing after his crimes. Like a chameleon, but a criminal chameleon. He was a thorn in the side of law enforcement and a constant challenge to their efforts to maintain order. His criminal career spanned for so many years, during which he committed numerous robberies and installed fear in the hearts of ordinary citizens. He was eventually apprehended and brought to justice, marking the end of his criminal activities. And number 5, we have Isiaq Abusari, also known as Mighty Joe. He rose to prominence after the execution of Ishola Oyenusi, taking over the reins of organized crime. He was a former military man, bringing his training and expertise to his criminal activities. His gang was composed of ex-soldiers, making them a formidable force. They were skilled and well equipped, carrying out robberies with military precision. He was feared by the police, and his reign of terror in the southwest seemed unending. Mighty Joe was even more ruthless than his predecessor, showing no mercy to his victims. He terrorized the southwest, leaving a trail of death and destruction. But fortunately, his criminal career was eventually cut short, but his name remained known in the history of Nigerian crime. And at number 4, we have Shina Rambo, a notorious armed robber from Abeokuta, Ogun State. He was a name whispered in fear, a legend in the criminal underworld. He was believed to be invisible, a phantom who could never be caught. He was said to possess supernatural powers, making him immune to the law. He was a great master of disguise, able to blend into any crowd. He was changing his appearance and his tactics to stay one step ahead of the authorities. He was finally apprehended, but not during a daring robbery, but in a surprising twist of fate. He was said to have been on his way to Larry Owaju Motors to buy a Pathfinder SUV when the police stopped the driver. They discovered a lot of money in a carton in the trunk of the Tasunka and began to question the possession of such huge amounts. An argument ensued between Rambo and the policeman, and he attempted to disarm one of the policemen. However, another policeman shot him from the other side of the road. It was said that he was not with his charms since he was not going for an operation. Therefore, the vulnerability of his body to the physical weaponry attacks. Again, the circumstances surrounding his arrest are still debated, also adding to the mystery surrounding his name. Some believed he was not a real Shina Rambo, while others claimed he repented and became a pastor. So either he is now a pastor or he is still out there somewhere. Next on our list is David Nwamama. He rose from humble beginnings to become a notorious armed robber in eastern Nigeria. He started as a pickpocket, but his ambitions grew, and he soon became a feared criminal. From petty thief to #1 public enemy, he was known for his willingness to kill. He especially terrorized the markets and the banks of Onitsha. He was a plague in the community, disrupting their lives and making them feel very unsafe. The authorities tried everything to bring him down, but all to no avail. His reign of terror was eventually brought to an end by the Bakassi Boys, a vigilante group known for their brutal method. The Bakassi Boys went on a manhunt and captured Teriko on Tuesday, July 3, 2001, on his way to Onitsha. 6 days after Teriko was captured, the Bakassi Boys paraded him at the Ochanja Market roundabout before beheading him with a machete. Teriko's capture and execution were swift and violent, and a reflection of the violence he had perpetrated. Next on our list is Ishola Oyinisi, known as the Doctor. He was a name whispered in fear, a legend in the annals of the Nigerian crime. He terrorized the nation shortly after the Civil War, a time of rebuilding and vulnerability. Oyinisi wasn't a medical doctor, but he earned the nickname through his calculated and precise approach to crime. He was a master of strategists, orchestrating daring robberies. He was known for his ruthlessness, and he was a symbol of the lawlessness that plagued the nations during that era. His crimes were many, his arrogance legendary. He even reportedly declared himself untouchable, believing he was beyond the reach of the law. But his reign of terror came to an end at the Bar Beach, where he, along with his gang, faced the firing squad. He smiled till his death. His execution was a public spectacle, a grim reminder of the consequences of the life of crime. And finally, at number 1, we have Ms. Anini, the Law. He was the property of nightmares, a name that echoed through the 1980s, particularly in the old Bendel states, now Edo and Delta. He was a taxi driver who transformed into a criminal mastermind. He was a figure who installed fear in the hearts of ordinary citizens, and even caught the attention of the highest level of government. His gang was notorious for their daring robberies, car hijackings, and bank heists. And in his reign of terror was so significant that it was discussed in the State Security Council meetings during the Babangida's regime. Imagine your name being brought up in those meetings. He was a ghost who seemed to be everywhere at once, dodging the grasp of the law enforcement for a considerable period. His eventual capture was a major victory for the police, as he was also shot in the leg during the process of his capturing. And in his trial was a major event, with his crimes and personnel capturing the nation's attention. He was ultimately found guilty and sentenced to death while in the wheelchair with his leg amputated. His execution marked the end of an era, a reminder that even the most notorious criminals will eventually face justice, because ultimately crime doesn't pay, even if you are the law. These criminals shouldn't be glorified. Their actions caused so much pain and sufferings and left deep scars on individuals and families and community as a whole. Their stories are a warning reminder that chasing power and wealth through crimes will only lead to ruin. What do you have to say about these men? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share and follow for more content like this. See you in the next one.